In the last video, I have told you that we are going to study very interesting application of the surface tension, that is capillary action or now the word capilla means hair in Latin. That is a tube. It is a glass tube having very fine bore of the order of 1 mm diameter, and that glass tube is open at both the ends. Such glass tube is known as capillary tube. Now, if one end of the capillary tube is dipped in the liquid, which partially or completely wets the surface of the capillary, for example, water, then you will observe that the level of the liquid in the capillary rises. Whereas, if one end of the capillary tube is dipped in a liquid which do not wet the surface of the capillary tube, then you will observe that the uh, level of the liquid in the capillary falls. Now, this phenomenon of rise or fall of a liquid inside a capillary tube when it is dipped in the liquid is known as capillarity. Now, we can say that the capillarity is nothing but consequence of a pressure difference across a curved liquid air interface. Now, first consider the applications of capillarity. Why we are studying this application of the surface tension? Because it is having many applications in our day-to-day life. Like we all use blotting paper, right? Blotting paper acts like capillaries and it soaks up ink. Similarly, when we use sponge, the sponges soak up the water and retain the water. Now we all use towels to dry our skin after we take bath. The towel soaks up water from the skin and makes it dry due to capillary action. Now in the old days, the oil wick lamp was used. You must have seen it somewhere in your house. The oil rises through a narrow spaces between the threads of the wick, which acts as capillaries. Now you must have used ink pen as well. The nib of the you must have observed that the nib of the ink pen is split at the top, right? Now this provides narrow capillary tube through which the ink is drawn up to the point continuously. This is due to capillary action. The ink rises up to that point. Now water and the sap rise up to the topmost branches of the leaves and trees by capillary action. Now, due to capillary action, this water and sap can rise up against the gravitational force, and this is due to capillarity. Now, you must have also seen that the farmers plow their fields in the summer. Why? To conserve the soil water. When the farmers plow their fields, the loosening of the top layers of the soil takes place and it breaks up the capillaries through which the water deeper down is sucked up. This is essential for dry farming. So, there are many applications of this capillary action or capillarity in our day-to-day life. Now, first we will consider the qualitative explanation of this capillarity, and then we'll consider the quantitative uh, we'll find out the quantitative rise, we'll quantify it, we'll find out the expression for rise or fall of the liquid in the capillary. Now in the textbook you can find the qualitative explanation to explain capillary fall. Okay, since in the textbook the explanation of the capillary fall is explained or it is discussed, here we are going to discuss the qualitative explanation to explain the capillary rise. Now observe the diagram number 1. Diagram number 1 is capillary in water before rise in the liquid. It means that as soon as you place the capillary in the vessel containing liquid, that situation is shown in this diagram, right? The capillary just immersed in the water. Now here we have assumed that the here we are considering water, and therefore we know that the water weights the surface of the glass, and therefore it will rise up, right? And it will result in concave meniscus. The figure 1 represents the time instant at which we uh, just dip the capillary in the water, that is before rise of the liquid in the capillary. And the figure 2 represents the capillary in water after rise of the liquid, right, due to capillary action. Now why this rise takes place, why the water rises up in the capillary? It can be explained on the basis of the pressure. Okay, now when capillary is dipped in the water rises up in the capillary, and as I have told you, the shape of the water meniscus in the capillary is upper concave. Now again, let us come to the diagram number 1. In diagram number 1, you can see 4 points A, B, C and D. A is the point just above the concave surface, but it is inside the capillary. B is the point just below the concave surface, but inside the capillary. C is the point just above the plane surface. This surface is plane surface. At the edges only it becomes curved. Are you getting the difference? At the edges it is getting curved because it is in contact with the solid surface. Otherwise this surface is plane surface. Okay. Point C is just above the plane surface and it is outside the capillary. Point D is just below the plane surface and it is also outside the capillary. Let us consider that PA, PB, PC and PD are the pressures at points A, B, C and D respectively. Now, in the last video, we have seen that the pressure on the concave side of the curve is always greater than the pressure on the convex side. I will repeat again. We have already seen that the pressure on the concave side of the curve is always greater than the pressure on the convex side. Okay. Now here A is on the concave side of the curve and B is on the convex side of the curve. So, the pressure at point B, that is PB, is less than or smaller than PA, right? Because B is at convex side of the curve and A is at concave side, right? Now let us, so we have PB smaller than PA, that is pressure at point B is smaller than pressure at point A. Now let us come to point C and D. Now point C and point A both are at same horizontal level and therefore the pressure at point A is same as pressure at point C, and obviously that pressure is equal to atmospheric pressure. Therefore, we can write the equation as PA is equal to PC, that is pressure at point A is same as pressure at point C because they are at same horizontal level. Now, the surface between point C and D is plane, it is not curved. Remember, the surface between the point C and D is plane, and when the liquid surface is plane, there is no question of excess pressure on the either sides of the liquid surface. We have discussed these cases in the last video. Okay, since the liquid surface is plane, there is no difference in the pressure on either side of the liquid surface. It means that we can write PC equal to PD, that is pressure at point C is same as pressure at point D. And since pressure at point C is same as pressure at point A, I can write PC pressure at point C is same as pressure at point D is same as pressure at point A, right? Now consider this equation again. PB is smaller than PA. Therefore, I can now write PB is smaller than PD, right? Because PC is equal to PD equal to PA. Therefore, I can replace PA in this term by PD, right? Now, if you observe the diagram, point B and point D are at the same horizontal level, and we already know from our previous knowledge that if we are having 2 points in the liquid at same horizontal level, then they should have same pressure, right? Then only the liquid will be in the equilibrium. But here we can observe that even though points B and D are at same horizontal level, the pressure at point B is smaller than pressure at point D. Pressure at point B is smaller than pressure at point D. And therefore, under this situation, the liquid will not able to remain in equilibrium state, and therefore to maintain the same pressure at points B and D, what will happen? The water from the outer level will enter in the capillary, right? It will enter in the capillary from the lower end of the capillary, and it will be pushing the level in the tube upwards here, right? So look at now, refer to the diagram number 2. To maintain the same, to maintain the uh, same pressure at points B and D, which are at same horizontal level, the water will enter in the capillary from the lower end, and it will be pushing the level of the water in the tube upwards till the equilibrium is reached. That is, till the pressure in the water at same horizontal level, that is at points D and B, will become same. And when this pressure at point B and D, which are at same horizontal level, will become same, the rising up of the liquid or water will stop, right? So, as a result of all this process, we can observe that the rise of water at height edge inside the capillary, as shown in the diagram 2. So, I hope you have understood the qualitative explanation to explain the capillary rise. On the similar basis, you can give the explanation for capillary fall. Now in the next video, we will discuss the expression for the capillary rise or fall.